Hello and welcome back to the Dark Artist series. Today's guest is one of the most exciting things to happen to goth music in the last decade. It's been a long time coming. It is Dusty from Vision Video, aka the internet's Goth Dad. Hello, Dusty.
Oh, hi there, baby bats. How are you?
It's been a pleasure catching your performance tonight. It's so nice to finally get to meet you in person. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.
No problem.
So you are currently on tour with the Chameleons. It's your first time ever playing a show in Ireland.
Yeah.
And you're touring with one of your favorite bands ever. What's the experience been like so far?
I've been to Ireland, like this is my fourth time in Ireland, but my first time with the band. I guess like when you've been to a place, you have like maybe a expectation of just knowing like what the people are like. So I was like, oh, the energy is going to be great because I'm Dublin, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was spot on. It was wonderful. It was really, truly wonderful. And yeah, it's great to be on tour with the Chameleons. Like somebody that has informed so much of what, like how I write and the music that I write and that we write. And it's just a pleasure. There's this saying, you know, in the music industry of like, don't meet your heroes. And usually that can be very true, but it's not the case with them at all. They are absolute amazing people and we just get along so well with them, so it's a dream come true.
You say don't meet your heroes. You at home, if your hero is Dusty Gannon,
don't meet me.
Yeah, I promise he's the best. Yeah, he is the best. You've been an absolute pleasure. So that's a hero you can meet.
Yes, I agree 100%. I actually got a beautiful moment of you tonight when the lead singer actually pointed at you.
Yeah.
And that's just so nice. And they shouted at the band and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice to see such a good relationship with
Yeah.
you as well. And like they seem really appreciative of you as well.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the video later.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted
Yeah,
to let
please
you know.
do. You know, there's a lot of bands that sort of are from like maybe this first or second wave of post-punk or goth rock or whatever, and maybe they don't understand this. Like, this is a thing that we all pass down, and there will be a day where I'm like, hopefully looking to somebody and going, yeah, you next. Hey, there's the man himself.
Speaking of.
Oh, come on in. Come on in.
We were
You're
just
talking
talking
about
about just singing your praises.
Oh, really?
And we were saying what a sweetheart you are.
Yeah, I just saw you pointing out going, I see you in the crowd. And I recorded that.
Yeah, it's great we could come over and do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
We've had some good times together. All
Yeah,
haven't we?
it's like
since we gate crashed your gig in San Francisco.
yeah, there was a combined gig where we had a show booked. We're on the same agency, so like Andrew from Rocky Road was like, hey Dusty, how do you feel about if the Chameleons just like took the show? And I was like, not only yes, but fuck yeah. Like what?
way.
Like
That was the first time I saw you play.
yeah, and it was
Blown away.
It was
I was blown away by it. It was really good. And
Yeah.
and then your festival in Athens.
yeah. We had the cams over in Athens
Yeah.
for our little Southern Gothic thing, and it was the world puts you in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
With the right people,
100%.
and I believe in that.
It's
Like,
so cool that we could get you over here.
yeah,
At the Shepherd's Bush, man. Wow.
yeah, fucking crazy.
That was a good
I
night
saw
for
and I
Yeah.
looked at that was beautiful.
Yeah, it's like
the
when
way-
you're standing on stage, like Bowie stood on. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
And, a lot of, because the old Grey Whistle Test was filmed there.
Yeah,
and,
yep.
So all that stuff
Yep.
was done there, and it's got a lot of history.
I think it's the perfect match, though, the two bands. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like you have like a lot of similar fans, and
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really good match. And thank you for coming to Dublin. And
Of course. I think the best lineups are where the bands complement but also contrast a bit. It's not like occupying the same exact space,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's what makes this like lineup fucking really great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good to play with a band that's got like something to say and a lot of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I love
You know,
that as well. Like
it's
that's
not
something I
just going through
really
the motions
love.
of
Yeah.
playing rock and roll music.
Yeah.
It's got actually saying something.
Yeah, you're not
and-
afraid to speak your mind.
Yeah,
And you
no.
know, it is
Yeah.
really hard to do online
Yeah.
because you're gonna get some backlash
Right.
and stuff. So it's never easy.
Right.
So every time I see you do that, I'm just like, this is great to see because I know how hard it is. And I know you do get a lot
Yeah.
of hate for it.
One of the things that has always grabbed me about like lyrically and just sort of like spiritually about the Chameleons is that it's always been about truth and speaking to truth and speaking to stories about your truth. The only thing that really matters to me as like an artist is I want people to understand like my experiences are my own, but we all have universal truths, and when you speak to those truths, it resonates.
Yeah.
That's the thing that connects us all, and it binds us, and that's what the whole point of this
And
thing
it gives
is.
you a medium. That's that stage for that time.
Yeah.
Is a safe place where you can actually do that. You can
Yeah.
actually really be yourself
Yeah.
and speak the truth.
Yeah.
And, you know, to have a really, really good band like that opening is it's great for us as well because everybody's
Gets the crowd
feeling
going.
really good when you come out, and
Yeah.
you know they've just had a really, because I was watching them tonight and the reaction they got was brilliant. I'm so happy that you got
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
It really set the night up.
Yeah,
you know.
I think one of the things when you go to a place the first time as a musician, there's a band, when you've never been there before, there's like back in the mind fear, you're like, shit, what if this just like falls flat? Because sometimes it does,
you
you
never
know?
know.
And you never know. And we don't need that validation, but like you want everybody to be excited, especially when you're opening for a band that you care passionately about.
Yeah, you want people to have a good time.
Exactly. We live in a time where your joy is so robbed from you all the time by this like corporate bullshit.
It's
You
such a
can
joy out
still,
of everything.
you can still have like genuine experiences.
That's what I was trying to get with the live music thing. I mean, it's really important that
Exactly.
we support it.
So
and,
important.
It's one of the real experiences that you can still have. I mean, I know ticket prices have gone through the ceiling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because it's become so expensive to do.
Right.
But
Everything's
see,
expensive.
to come
isn't
to a place that kind of understand that and support it on a Monday night, you know what I mean?
it? Yeah,
Seriously.
Monday
It's
night,
fabulous.
good to know.
And Dublin
Yeah,
is
and
so
that was
special.
a turnout for a
I'm
Monday
so happy
night,
that
right?
we got to come back here.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
have to go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Don't let us keep you. Thank you for your cameo. Yeah, thank you.
Serendipity.
That's not fun.
Smoking area. So.
We'll see you tomorrow, Mark.
This is not a smoking area, this is our studio. Well, speaking of supporting the local scene and bands and living in the now, I think you're very much a band who is the now, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You are everywhere we've gone for the past 2 years. Your name has been spoken. Your band has been doing the rounds.
Thanks.
You're everywhere on. I think it's cool that you really embrace social media as well, as a tool for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What started you first on your musical journey? Like what was your now, you know? What was your scene?
Well, I mean, I grew up in like a very, very rural, incredibly small town, like 200 people, 30 minutes away from the closest town, which is Athens, Georgia, and it's just like cow country.
Same.
And there's nothing
Can't
out
relate.
there, you know. So at that time when I was a teenager, I was early 2000s. You know, we didn't really have like high speed internet. I basically would go into town, and I had like part-time jobs in high school. I worked at a movie theater, and I would just save all my money to go to the record stores in Athens. And for those of you who don't know, Athens is like a big music town, like REM, B-52s, Pylon, like a lot of post-punk music.
I thought you were going to be like, for those of you who don't know, records.
Yeah, no, records. These polyvinyl, no. But yeah, so I spent a lot of my money, pretty much all of my money, on records and CDs, because this is before Spotify, this is before like you had curation based on like algorithms and shit.
Back then we used to just go look and be like, that looks cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
right.
So I would go into these shops and be like, hey, I really like this Bauhaus record. What do you think I should listen to next? And these like really intelligently well-versed people would be like, oh, you should listen to XYZ, And so that was kind of my intro to like post-punk and goth music, was sort of in my very own sort of isolated way, because I didn't really have any sense of community around it. But then as I got older, like I moved to Athens, a friend of mine started taking me to goth nights and just like bringing me more into the like communal, actual subcultural element of it. And that really interested me, because I was like, oh yeah, like I'm not by myself with this. It's not just us. Like there are lots of people that are into this sort of bizarre thing. And I think that's the strength of subculture, is that you find community and you find like the people that you connect with, and those people end up being friends for life in a lot of times.
Absolutely, it's a shared experience. I think that the music resonates with people, and then those people find each other through that. And I think what your band has been doing is definitely resonating, especially amongst like young people. And I know I touched on it about how you've embraced like social media for like that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the social media and the Goth Dad persona, we'd be remiss not to talk about it.
Of
like,
course.
What started this? Did you go into this with a plan of thinking like, I'm gonna this is my character, and this is gonna be everything? Or is it something, are you similar to us in that you kind of just fell into it?
It's absolutely the latter. Like I fell into it. It was never like a constructed plan. Like it was kind of a joke, and then it sort of built upon this thing. But like the way I've always kind of viewed goth insofar as like the subcultural aspects of being there in person, is like there's a lot of like self-seriousness on the internet, and there's none of that in person. Like you go to a goth night, nobody's like talking about like, oh, is this band goth or like is this
This,
like,
I talk about this all the
yeah,
time.
like it's just
no one's
an
gonna come up to you at a
experience.
club and be like, name 5
Right.
goth bands.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
happening. Some people are afraid to go out in case that happens. That's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. Go to the goth club.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
Just enjoy the experience, but like there's got to be a level of levity to all of it, and I think that's where it came from. Was just like me taking the piss out of like the whole thing because it's like, come on, look at us. Like
It's because
we're
other people
fucking-
are gonna do it. So
yeah,
we
like
might as well.
we look like 30s like Universal horror movie monsters.
Yeah.
Like we're ridiculous, but beautifully so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, it just sort of happened, and I kind of come and go with it. Like I haven't done much in that realm for a while. Like it's been like kind of a long time. And people are like, "Where's Goth Dad?" And I'm like. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I do talk about that is deeply political and is deeply like serious. And I don't want to be like, why there, baby bats? Let's talk about like Israel's use of guided munitions on like residential neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I don't ever want like levity to be injected into something that's that like hyper serious. Like not to say I'm not like totally away from it. I don't know, like the last like 2 years of my life have been trying to make this music speak for itself and be the thing that people are going, oh yeah, that's like he's done this stuff that's funny, but like maybe it's time to be serious for a while. And again, that's not to say that I'm not gonna go back to like joking around.
When you're
Goth Dad's dead. You're here first.
He's not
Goth
dead.
Dad's
He's just in a coffin somewhere.
He's
sleeping,
undead,
you know?
undead.
Yeah. Like I think where I want to move towards with that character or whatever is like teaching like young kids who are interested in the scene, like, hey, here's like, oh, hi there, baby bats. Like, let's talk about the band Specimen and like the Batcave. And I've been kind of doing that. I think that's more meaningful than like, here's a shitty joke.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, yeah.
No, it's a similar thing that like we were talking about, and I mean it's always kind of been something that we've done with the channel, and that we want people to have like a safe educational space about the subculture. But you also touched on it about there is so much like self-seriousness online, and there are so many people who will, like, I hate to use the word because it's like bingo at this point, but you know, gatekeep essentially the subculture from people. And I think we need stuff like this because it is unfortunately it isn't the many, it is the few, but they are loud. Yeah. And it's awful to see something that we love so much and is so inclusive and so embracing, and then people are on the internet like, oh, look at this cool dress or this shirt or this band, and people are like, you're not a real goth, you know?
I kind of see what kids are going through nowadays, like, and I don't presume to understand it, but like I kind of see it insofar as that they are living in an extraordinarily digital world. Yeah. Where they're constantly being like sort of harassed and bullied and dealing with all this like shitty comments. I'm 38 and like sometimes it gets under my skin and I'm like, I don't like that. But I'm like a former firefighter and combat veteran. So I'm like, yeah, fuck me, whatever. An 18-year-old kid's not going to be able to, like, they don't have the prefrontal cortex developed to be like, you know what, this doesn't matter. So whenever they get online, it really bothers me that you get these people that are like so staunchly and narrowly defined of like what this thing is, and they treat it with such vehemence of defense that it alienates and disenfranchises these kids that could probably learn a lot. You know, they could be the next Roz Williams for all we know, but you're not giving them the chance to like have that experience because we all had that experience just quietly and not on the fucking internet like 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah, like the subculture would die if everybody was like that, you know? It's like, oh, well, you weren't born in the 80s, so you couldn't be a real goth. And you're like, do you want this subculture to die out? Because if you keep acting like that,
it will always be a niche thing. Simultaneously, I also recognize there's a left and right limit to the music. There's a vague, I call it like the goth umbrella. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that fits underneath it. And it's like kind of one of those things where when you know it fits, but it's a nebulous thing. Yeah, and it's debatable. And it's like a lot of people are like, oh, Vision Video isn't goth. And I'm like, okay.
And that bothers me because you're like the only goth band that will admit to being goth. And I talk about this all the time. Like, we made this joke, Guess Who board, and you're on it. And one of the questions,
That's amazing.
One of the questions was like, does this person actually accept goth band and accept the goth community? Yes,
like,
down. And only you were left.
No,
like, it's funny how they'll say that's not a goth band. The Cure are goth, but then the Cure are like, we're not goth.
Yeah, well,
I
think you know, you look at the history of it, not to go too deep into it, it's like a lot of these bands that started this thing, they were leaving punk. They were leaving this sort of like this system of business that took advantage of a subculture and started to make insane amounts of money off of just like, we're going to make these little boy band punk rock bands and slap them together. And then all the like really artistic avant-garde people started to shy away from that, and they started this thing, and it wasn't even goth until like the mid '80s. Yep. So I mean, I get the like, we don't really want to like label ourselves that. Yeah. And I think that has stuck for so long because that first wave of people were like, we don't want to really be in this pocket. Yeah. But it's like, to me now, we all know that it's a thing. We all know that it's a subculture. We all know that it's this genre that's a multifaceted genre. And I just think it's like a waste of time to be like, are we goth?
Yeah, right.
Wink.
I don't know if you're like goes, but like growing up, I never said I was goth.
Yeah.
And people would say, you're goth Nemo. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't accept labels, okay? Right. So I used to be like that. Maybe I used to be goth. But now on the internet, and you're wanting to find friends, and you're wanting to find the right community, and you're wanting to find people that will like your music.
Right.
You're going to use a label to find people. If we didn't have that label, it'd be very hard to actually find like-minded people. Right. Like my friend is sitting across from me here, and she actually found us from YouTube because we made a video about goth. She went and she found our Discord because she wanted to meet other goths because she likes goth music.
Right. Well, and I think it's ironic too because it's like quite probably the only musical subculture that does this. Yes. Like metalheads are like, I'm a metalhead. Yeah. Like I'm a punk.
Don't
We're
be
the
shy.
only ones like, I'm not that. And
now the emos had it.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean now it's like widely celebrated.
Now it's like I'm emo, it's fine.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about what the thing is.
Just enjoy
it and get involved in the community. If you find yourself gravitating towards what all this generalized sensibility of bands are doing, go to those shows, go to the dance parties, go like celebrate your community. If you don't want to like put that label, then don't. Like, just do whatever you want to do. It's fine. Enjoy each other and build the bonds because that's all.
Enjoy your life. Don't be like, can I be goth if I am this age or if I look like this? You can do whatever you want to do. Just do what makes you happy. You don't need to.
In my book, you can wear, a band shirt and blue jeans. You can still be goth. I don't care. It's like, just enjoy it.
So I'm conscious that we're taking up a lot of your time. So let's jump to a lightning round, right?
Okay.
Every question you have to answer in 5 words or less.
Oh, shit. Okay. Wow.
Where did the name Vision Video come from?
It was video rental store.
What does goth mean to you?
Macabre, music-based subculture. I don't know.
You are excellent at this. Your favorite Vision Video song to play live?
Right now, it's Dead Gods.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
Dead Gods is my new favorite song, actually.
Can you sum up the theme of modern horror?
5 words.
Oh.
All right.
That is
World sucks. Don't lose hope.
Beautiful. Favorite band right now?
TV on the radio. Yeah. I was listening to their first record. Yeah, it's super good.
First CD you ever bought, or a record or tape?
First CD.
Okay, yeah.
Green Day Dookie.
Oh, we were just talking about Green Day.
It's a great record. Oh, man. Green Day's
I didn't really like Green Day that much.
Yeah.
But the first album I really liked.
The first few records are genius.
The first few.
Right, well, thank you all so much at home for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. Dusty, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's
been an absolute pleasure to have you. We hope you have an incredible time on the rest of the tour. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And until next time, see you in your nightmares.